everybody, this is Roxy and I'm working on some field note guides that I've made for my upcoming craft sales. I only made a few and I'm going to see how they go at the first sale and then just make more for the next one. Or I might just keep making them. So I start out with the file folder that I cut in half and then just folded it. So I had like a 1/4 inch back end or binding, and another 1/4 inch fold here, and so they will fold like that. Then I used these craft books. I think I got them off Amazon, and they weren't too expensive, but they're a really nice journal size. So for this, my friend Myrnie found a really cool, it's a huge book on kind of gardening tips. So I'm making this more like a gardening bird, anything kind of out in the field enthusiast. So I'm trying to leave it a little generic. This is that Tim Holtz tissue paper. I used a glue stick, but I did have to fortify it a little bit with some glitter glue, just on like the corners and stuff. But I love how that turned out. The others I used I just went through all my boxes from Your Creative Studio, the stationery, and pulled out labels. And I mean, this is all Your Creative Studio over the last year. So except for that, I've got some old dairy journals that I'm using. But I like how the collage turned out for the covers, and then a little label if they want to write what this is for them. Here's same Your Creative Studio with a little bit of Tim Holtz tissue paper. And the insides are pretty much the same. So then I always think of stuff after the fact, like think of how I'm gonna bind this little book in here, and then I have to kind of end up creating something that I've never seen before, but works. So that's what I did with these. This is the leather straps that I got at that garage sale this summer, which is perfect for this. I put 3 holes in, and then I thread the leather strap. I fold it in half, thread it through this way so it would come in through the book, and then each strap I went out the other hole, the extra holes. So see what I mean? So then I could put I was going to try to put a bead on this, but I didn't have any beads in my huge bead stash that were kind of natural or neutral. They're all colorful beads, like bright. So I just left this loop and then looped both the ends of the leather through that, and then just pulled it really tight through here. Then I can just go like this. One goes over, one goes under, and tie it in a double knot. And just leave the straps. Like it'd be cool to put beads on here, but I'm thinking, not everybody likes all that stuff, But I might try to look for some wooden beads somewhere. I don't know if I got time. So here they all are. And then, forgot. I did decorate the covers just with a little bit of the Your Creative Studio stationery pieces that I had left, like when I did the collages, or the master boards, I kept all the scraps. Of course. Who wouldn't? Raise your hand. All right, nobody did, so we're all in on this together. All right. So then I thought it'd be fun to put like an envelope. Which one I did it to? I think I did it to this one. Put a little envelope in the front So if they find a feather or whatever, they can tuck it in the envelope. And then I added a scene and date card just to give them an idea of what they can, do with the index card for themselves. Here's another little cover. So I thought I'd show putting these together. I cut off the tops. These are G12 bags from Clear Bags, and they have a rounded top, but it kind of stuck out. So I just cut the tops off and made it straight. So we have had a pretty hot summer, and especially this last month or so, it's been really hot. And that brings out Boxelder bugs, which if you don't have them, you consider yourself lucky. Although I would rather be in a swarm. Well, no, I wouldn't. I would never want to be in a swarm. But I'd rather have Boxelder bugs than palmetto bugs or any weird, icky, gross. I mean, to me, bugs are just gross. Even dragonflies, I still think they're going to sew my mouth shut, as my dad used to say. Try to get me to be quiet when we're fishing. But anyways, these things, they can see you, and they have really good eyesight. And I'm not kidding. Because when you come close, they know you're coming to kill them, so they run off. Or they fly in your face. The other night. And they're hard to get rid of. The only thing that'll get rid of them is spraying, diluting Dawn dish soap and spraying out, your whole house, pretty much. So we did that. Bill got out with our shop vac, and when they were really bad, when they started out, he vacuumed our outside entryway, and he had this many dead bugs in the shop vac when he was done. That gross. Oh, I don't want to cover that. I'll have to put that one in the back. I thought I'd do a little, and then I must have forgotten and stopped. So I got to wait. Oh yeah. Well, actually, it'll just show it. So the other night we're watching TV, and I feel something. I had a long sleeve top on, and I felt something at my elbow, and I was like, and I just thought, oh, it must be my shirt. So then a little while later, it's like, oh, I feel it again. And I thought maybe it was like a tingling in my arm, my elbow or something. So I kind of ignored it. And then all of a sudden, like the fourth time, I'm like, all right, what's in there? And I said, oh my God. And because I could feel it. Like I felt it. And I was screaming for him to get up and help me because I was just like all frantic. And he's like, what? There's nothing there. I'm like, there is. So I ripped my top off right in the middle of our living room. And out was, like a nice big one. They're so disgusting. They're the flying cockroaches of the world. And I have an interesting trivia tidbit. Say that fast. Okay, I used to work for a publishing company in St. Paul called Web Publishing. That was the guy's name. W-E-B-B. Anyways, he started the Farmer magazine out in South Dakota. He's a South Dakota farmer. Started the Farmer magazine, which was like the icon of farmers. I mean, every farmer got it. And in the beginning, he had a subscription deal. If you signed up and subscribed, you got a free Boxelder tree. And they brought them in from China. And unfortunately, I should say, they brought in the Boxelder bugs. So growing up, oh, see, I just get talking. Growing up, we had a Boxelder bug tree in our yard. And my grandma was a really good farmer, and the area they lived in was farmland. And it just dawned on me the other day when I was thinking about it that she must have subscribed to the farmer. So it kind of came full circle when her grandbaby was working for the company. But anyways, every summer we had a white house. Our house, it's always the south-facing side of your house, because that's, the most sun gets. Because they love the sun, they like to get hot. As soon as it cools down, they're red with black stripes. As soon as it cools down, their whole body turns black. And they just sit there dormant. They're so bizarre. Oh, I hate them. Anyways, the whole side of our house would be red with these things. And I always wanted, every year I was like, I'm going to start sawing that tree and chop it down. Because I knew that's where they were coming from. So one year I decided, instead of trying to do that because it didn't work, I was going to figure out a way to kill them. So I did everything in my power. I flush them down the toilet and they'd come back up. No lie. I threw one in the aquarium. It swam around for days. And then I think the last thing I tried a lot of different things, but the last thing I tried was I sprayed a mound of Raid on one. And it literally walked right out from under the pile of Raid. So you can't kill them, except this Dawn somehow gets rid of them. It's just really bizarre. So this summer I went to a maple syrup. There's this really cool park near our house that there's this really neat lady. She used to run. There's another full circle. Come to think of it, there's a Dodge Nature Center in West St. Paul, and we live right next to West St. Paul. Bill grew up in West St. Paul, and the Nature Center, Mr. Webb from Webb Publishing, created the Nature Center. Bought all this land not far from where the company was. He bought all this land and created this Dodge Nature Center, named it after his wife's, I think his wife's last name was Dodge, named after her father. So this Eloise at this park now, okay, fast forward to right now. So we go to Thompson Park to walk Sheila all the time. It's gorgeous. I've shown, videos and photos on Instagram, whatever. Well, they have classes there, and they hired this Eloise. Well, actually, she's actually kind of using the facility. It's her own little business now. But Eloise has worked at Dodge Nature Center for 30-some years. She is so knowledgeable in everything nature. And her classes are really awesome. So this year she had a maple, or was it last fall? I think it was last fall, actually. Yeah, it was tapping time. So I went and found out that there's only 2 trees that you can tap for syrup. They're maple trees and Boxelder trees. And I thought, all those years, instead of just getting the bugs from them, we could have been tapping them for syrup. And I wonder if my grandma knew that. Because she was very clever, and her gardens were beautiful. They sustained themselves on her food, that she grew. And then chickens, whatever. Because my grandfather died when my dad was 3, and he was the middle child. So when he was 13, his oldest brother he had, I think, some mental health issues, but when he was 13, he had to start his paper route, which I talked about when I did my dad's lunchbox museum thing, I call it. Not thing. But anyways, his brother couldn't work, so my dad had to do a paper route that he walked 2 miles to get to, and then walked all over town up there, which is near Ham's Brewery, or where Ham's was. But he had a lot. It was like I drove it once. It was a lot for a kid to do. And he had to do it every morning and every night. So my dad worked hard. Anyways, long story short, here are my field notebooks. And I got inspired by Eloise, by the way, now that I brought her up, unbeknownst. But I got inspired by her because she's got all these little notebooks and she calls them her field notes. And she's just as amazing class. In fact, the last class she did was on mushrooms. We got to test mushrooms and go looking out in the park and find mushrooms. And she had this really cool book, and I ordered it and I just got it last night. So I will show that in another video. It's really beautiful, and you can really eat a lot of mushrooms out there. So anyways, here are my books. I think I actually like the Your Creative Studio collage covers. I mean, these are pretty, but I kind of like these better. You know, you can just be a little more creative and specific with them. But anyways, thanks for watching, and talk to you later. Bye. Oh, tell me about your hate for bugs, because I am a #1 fan. Bye.